We're live there, Coachy.
Live. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome as we are in day 2 of playoff weekend, baby. Playoff weekend. We had some great games, and here we are, Nevada Nick as always, and we have a special treat for everyone. As you notice, Stizz in his new penthouse, he's going to do a little piano solo for us after the at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned for the piano solo by Stizz.
We call him Stizzy Joel.
Yes, sir.
Stizzy Joel.
Yes,
sir. What's up,
They
Billy?
call me the Tchaikovsky of Delco.
There we go.
Tchaikovsky of Delco. Oh man.
You play a couple keys for us. You know what I mean?
So,
like Spider had a couple steps in Goodfellas. This is gonna play a couple keys for us.
that's right.
There you go.
2-step on the piano.
Yeah. What's this? Angie, what happens? Yeah, fucking coach's bold prediction.
Oh,
Patriots
man.
outright.
He was close, Billy.
Yeah, that
He
last
was close to
about
0-0.
Yeah, 3 minutes into the game. All right, so guys, you want to start? We'll start off with the Bills. I know I think I had it the other way, but to me, yesterday, obviously, they were the story of the day. 47-17. Start the game 27-0.
Yeah,
it was just a complete shellacking.
You're being kind with shellacking.
No,
Yeah.
but you know what, too? You don't see a lot where, the Patriots just get out everything, and they really did, and that includes out-coached. Dabble just had them on there. I mean, with Allen running early, I know he did it last game, but I don't think they saw it early. And they were just humming on all cylinders, and that's the whole team. And you're starting to see too, McKenzie's starting to be a player. You saw him kind of be used out of the backfield yesterday too, like the Niners do with Debo. And then you talk about you got, Beasley, Sanders, obviously Diggs, Dawson Knox, huge game yesterday.
Yep.
2 huge touchdowns to start the game, and that one with Josh Allen. I mean, how do you stop that? You know what I mean, Coach? Where he just kind of threw it up. It kind of looked like the Dallas Clark play. Or not Dallas Clark, Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark, yeah.
He was kind of just throwing it away, and he happened to go up and get it. But, man, just impressive victory by the Bills. I thought they looked unbelievable. Coach, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was tough to watch. I mean, and I said the running game, and all of a sudden Buffalo, boom, has a running game. Singletary just, has really stepped up his game. FAU kid, Florida kid came and, he had a huge game. And like you said, it's really hard to watch. Bill Belichick had no answer for anything. I think that was a record. They either scored a touchdown or took a knee the entire game. Buffalo did.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, too, I thought, honestly, maybe the play of the game, Patriots went right back down and started moving the ball. And I believe it was Micah Hyde. That interception in the end zone was huge. And then they go down and they score another touchdown. And I know, look, it's only 2 touchdowns. But, man, just the way New England plays and, the way the Bills had started, it kind of felt like it was.
Thanks, Mike, for checking out on YouTube, man.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. But, Coach, it looked like it was over right there.
Yeah.
It was 14-0 just by the start of the game, how it went last time, and just how the Patriots play football. And to come back from 2 touchdowns, you saw it last week where they started off down 2 touchdowns on Miami as well and just couldn't come back. And that's Miami. This is the Buffalo Bills. That's, a whole different offense.
Right.
Josh Allen, not Tua. So I thought it was going to have a long road for the Bills. Stizz, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think that interception was a big, turnaround. It took the wind right out of their sails, as you kind of alluded to. Once that interception happened, they really never looked back. The whole game. 14-0 is manageable. But, man, every time they went down, they scored a football. So, it's kind of hard to keep up with that. Josh Allen, big 5-touchdown day. I mean, huge. If he can keep this going, he may get to the Super Bowl, Billy, like you called it. And, hopefully our Packers beat them up. But that would be a nice Super Bowl matchup. And as Coach said, Devin Singletary, I mean, he's been huge these last few weeks of the season and now in the playoffs. So they're going to need that. They're going to need a little bit of a balanced attack. And Josh Allen, 60-some yards rushing. If he can't find anything, he takes off and he gets it done. So, we'll see what happens going into next week.
Yeah.
It'll be a great matchup with Kansas City if Kansas City does it tonight. So,
yeah. What's going on, Sammy? What's up, buddy?
What's up, Sammy?
You'll see me over there today. I'm going to get me some fried chicken. We got the best fried chicken in town, Sam and Sam's, man.
Nevada Nick going to be a frequent flyer in the line.
You see a fat guy with a red beard eating chicken in the aisle 3, it's me, Sammy. Now, look, guys, the one thing obviously, and I said this, you guys remember, I was so upset about the officiating in that Bucs game because I thought the Bills got screwed after they turned it around in that second half. Because, you remember, they were 7-5 at that point. They ended up going 7-6. I said they had a favorable schedule down the stretch, and I thought they could run the table. And look, they could have been 12-5 there, and they would have then been the 2 seed. They did lose to the Bills or the Titans, outright. So they wouldn't have been the 1 seed. But still, if the Chiefs win today, that game next week would have been in Buffalo. So It is a little bit different. But still, they, I know it wasn't pretty, but they handled their business down the stretch. And the one thing I think is really, really big right now, the Bills are really starting to develop a rushing attack, and they're protecting Josh Allen. Josh Allen hasn't been sacked in, I think, in 4 or 5 weeks. And then you see how that line's starting to really gel in regards to the rushing game with Allen, and Devin Singletary has been running the ball very well. If the Bills' rushing attack, if this can be consistent, I think it makes them a complete team and a team that can win the Super Bowl. Do you guys both agree? I'll start with you, Stizz.
I definitely agree. I mean, if they keep on playing like they did yesterday, sure, absolutely. Ain't nobody going to beat them like that, scoring 47 points. No way,
Absolutely. I think, and now, they're not afraid to go into Kansas City. I don't think any team left, is afraid to go into Kansas City and play the Chiefs. So I don't think this bothers the Bills at all. I think, they're those cylinders are clicking now. They're ready they're going, man. And I think, it's going to be Kansas City who's going to have to try and keep up with Buffalo next week.
Yeah, and I think Brian Dabble, when you see somebody outwit Bill Belichick like he did yesterday, and look, the Bills have the better roster. They really do. I mean, you're comparing Josh Allen to Mac Jones, but man, they hung up 47 on Bill Belichick. Not many guys can do that. And the way they started with 4 straight touchdowns, and very impressive for Dabble. What he's done with Josh Allen, I don't see how he doesn't get a head coaching job this year. I know, Coach. I think you mentioned him with the Giants, right?
Yes. And he's been mentioned in Miami. He's been mentioned in a couple, but he's a hot name right now. So we'll see.
Great point, Kevin. First team without a punt, field goal, or a turnover.
Yeah,
it was just
hard to do.
It was just it was really impressive game.
Cy looks like he likes the Stellars today. Chiefs are going home, he says.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, look,
hey, listen, that's a bold prediction in itself.
Yeah, man.
And look, the one thing I'll say, look, man, you learned it last week with the Colts. Everybody's just saying the Steelers got no chance. We'll talk about it later. But, one thing I think that's interesting, Juju Smith-Schuster's playing today. So, does that add a little bit to the passing attack? There's Big Ben, too. He's still, he's a statue back there. I know that. But who knows, man? Maybe he, pulls one from the old school Bennett, and plays a game, man. I mean, it's any given Sunday, boys.
That's right.
I learned that last week with the Colts, obviously.
That's for sure. We can all say what we want. We can research. We can predict. But you know what? Until they get on the field, until that clock hits 000, anything can happen.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they win by 21, Billy, but I can tell you this: if the Chiefs do win today, I will be all over the Bills next week, and I'm kind of curious what the line's going to be, Stizz, because I don't think it's they say usually a home field advantage is a field goal.
3.5, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that, Stizz. I think we
it's
can
going
be
to be more.
I think it's going to be one or pick.
Oh,
I think with the Bills
Really?
coming off that win and the Bills beating them earlier in the year, I see the Chiefs -1. Something like that.
I think that really depends on what happens in the game tonight. Like, if it's a close game, if Kansas City comes out with a win and they beat them 27-24 or something like that, something close,
right?
Then you may be right.
Another big thing too, Stizz, is going to be the play of Kelsey and Hill. If they still looked a little nicked up too,
sure.
And they really, if you look at it for a while now, except for the one game they both had a huge game, it's been more of Hardman and Pringle than
Byron Pringle.
Hill. Yeah, Pringle's been the leading receiver. Yeah. I think 3 or 4 the 4 last games. So we're and Cy, man, we're not downplaying them. And look, the big thing's going to be with Pittsburgh. Just know it now. TJ Watt. That's their guy who gets them rolling. TJ Watt just makes plays, and if he has a game and can get to Mahomes like twice, cause havoc like he does, that can
shake it up early.
Game, and especially too if you can turn him over, get a strip sack or whatever, that could be huge for the Steelers. Because let's not forget last game. Look, it's 2 different games. First of all, last week Chiefs go down and score. They fumble the kickoff. Boom, they score. And it's 14-0 before you. And I think Pittsburgh knew it was over because Pittsburgh wasn't gonna. Their offense was really struggling. That's when they were in that streak where they were averaging like 3 points in the first half. Like it was bad. So but no, guys. Yeah. So we said about the Bills, obviously. I just to put on what you guys said. Look, from what I saw yesterday, obviously I don't think they're going to play like that every game, but man, they scare me. And if it goes like me and Stizz did say yesterday, I said Bills, Packers, and Packers win. If they continue like this, Stizz, I hope our Packers win, but man, I don't know, man.
You ain't lying. I'm a little nervous.
Man, they look good. Yeah, they look good. So now, guys, let's get over to the Bengals Raiders. We all called that game yesterday. Said the Bengals would win. Stizz also, I had the Bengals going to the AFC Championship too. Stizz had them winning 2 games to get into the AFC Championship. Yeah, Sam, we said Juju is back. Good point. And look, look at like
the fire. He didn't pay his bill, Mike. He didn't pay the heat bill, man.
Yeah, and up there he is. We were wondering where you were yesterday, Billy. Hey, man, Billy, congratulations, man. Yesterday they showed things that have happened, like all the stuff that's like back when they won their last playoff game. Michael Jordan hadn't won a championship yet. Home Alone was the #1 movie. So congratulations, Billy.
Yeah, big win.
Just great win. Look, I said yesterday, go into the future, I would take Burrow over Mahomes. I mean, he looked on fire yesterday. Stizz, him and Chase just really starting to build a rapport. They just look really good, the Bengals. Did you say our Packers? Now, let me say, I said our Packers because me and Stizz both bet futures bets on the Packers to win it all. When it was still unsure with Rodgers, they weren't 100% sure he was going to play. The Packers were 15.5-1 to win the Super Bowl. And we both said, hey, man, that's great value because it was past the draft. It was in June. We really felt like he wasn't going to get traded because all the teams had kind of made their decision. And it ended up happening. Now the Packers are the favorite 3-1. Me and Stizz got them at 15.5-1. So that's why I say our Packers for me and Stizz.
And I'm an owner, by the way, so our Packers.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
Don't
right.
forget, I am an owner, baby. I am an owner.
Stizz, we're screwed.
Coach is the part owner.
So, I want to see if, they'll let me get the trophy for a day. Maybe, I don't even know. We'll see what happens. I'll have to find out.
You want to answer that? Coach?
Yeah. Nicholas, listen, of course it interests the Giants. I mean, if you're not, but the problem is we're in cap hell.
Right.
You can't take Deshaun Watson on because you can't take his money on. That's the biggest problem, and I don't think that's a package deal with Flores and Deshaun Watson. I think, I think Flores could come in and, look, the Giants are going to need they're 2 years. Whoever comes in, the first 2 years are out the window because we're in cap hell. We've got a lot of holes to fill. So, we'll see what happens.
And one thing I'm going to say, too, you can just see it. Burrow and Chase are the next Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. And they might be at that level right now. I mean, they're just understanding of how each other plays. How many times did they get them on the back shoulder fade yesterday? Like, where you just got to stop. And I mean, they got it up. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And that's a big thing that Adams and Rodgers do. Yeah. You're talking about two guys who played together at LSU, and they, obviously playing in the NFL is a little different, but you've really seen the last 4 or 5 weeks, those two are really starting to click on all cylinders. When you talk about Chase's, obviously the Ravens game was huge, huge game against the Chiefs. And then obviously doesn't play week 18. But
you're right, Mike.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's scary for the AFC North. It really is.
And like I said yesterday, it's a real nice Cinderella story if Cincinnati can actually come in and win a couple games in these playoffs. And listen, to be a Cincinnati fan, I mean, good for you, Billy. You got something to root for the next, who knows, 10 to 12 years, hopefully.
Right.
You have a nice tandem there that you can actually count on. And, hopefully that running game stays stout with Mixon, and you have a nice trifecta there.
Yeah.
Moving forward. So it's a good time to be a Bengals fan right now, for sure.
100%. And Billy, the only thing I'm concerned about with the Bengals, me and Stizz actually like them getting to the AFC Championship, but Trey Hendrickson going down yesterday. Yeah. That was the tale of two halves with him going out. And they also I cannot pronounce his last name, but the defensive tackle who had like 7.5 sacks got carted off with a foot injury. So that concerns me too, because you could see it was a different game after those two went out. It really was. The Raiders were moving the ball better, obviously much less pressure for Carr. He was kind of sitting back there, although Carr holds the damn ball too much. That concerns me a little bit with the Bengals. But yeah, I mean, let's see what happens with Henderson. 14 sacks this year, had the big strip sack early against Carr. That was huge. And then obviously the guy who recovered the fumble was the other guy who got hurt. So, big games. Yeah, got Billy.
Yeah, Billy, you forgot linebacker. You forgot linebacker.
A lineman.
There's a lot.
They're a whole offensive line away. They need a whole offensive line.
They're a whole offensive line.
Andrew Thomas,
right?
Except for him, everybody else needs to be replaced.
And where's the pass rusher? You missed the pass rush too, man. I mean, come on. The pass rush is non-existent. So, and I'll say this: the center from Iowa, the defensive end from Purdue, the first 2 picks for the Giants. I think that's where you go with those 2 picks if you're not trading them. So, and let's move on.
Honestly, guys, too, I thought for the Raiders, it kind of shows you how much better they were playing down the stretch and how they kind of got on a roll. The fact that they were even able to get an opportunity to tie the game up, because I thought they were thoroughly outplayed, and I thought the Raiders played a bad game. It shows you how far the Raiders have come. And, if they can get a few pieces, get a receiver on the outside, and they need to fix their line too. It's bad.
Yeah.
A lot of penalties, false starts. I think they had 4 or 5 holdings, 3 false starts. The Raiders just played, not pretty football yesterday. When you're on the road
doing Raiders shit.
Yeah, you can't fumble. Carr on the last play. On 4th down, you don't even throw it in the end zone. That special teams play, that guy would have been cut on the airplane
right
coming home. I mean, just talk about bonehead. You would have got the ball at the 4-yard line, then you're at the 2, and you look there too. That's another field goal because Carr gets sacked at the 1, you punt it. The Bengals are starting at the Raiders 45. They get 2 first downs and you kick a field goal.
Why is it anywhere else on the field, when you sack a quarterback, it's wherever he lands. But yet you sack him by the end zone, it's where his feet were. Because that was a safety. It was a safety. Because because the ball was not out of the end zone. His feet were, but not the ball. And I just don't understand that. But
Billy Hurts is with the Eagles right now. He ain't going nowhere, man.
Yeah, why you got to get rid of the guy? I've been on this bandwagon since Jump Street, man. I thought you guys have heard, you listen to the show, I have been a Hurts guy.
Yep. No, he has. I give it to you since last year. Give him more time. You're right, Coach. The Stizz
Sam, I got you covered. Yeah, I got you covered, man. I could work the icky shuffle. That was actually my go-to move back in the old club days. So yeah, let's get brush up on it. I got you covered though.
Billy said Raiders didn't leave the hotel. One thing I want to talk about too, and I've talked about this all year. The officiating's been horrendous, and it was horrendous yesterday.
Yeah,
the whistle, yes, by rule. They should have replayed it down. However, I mean, you hear the whistle about a half a second before the guy catches the ball.
Yeah.
And yes, they did let up, but neither of them were 2 or 3 yards within the player. Burrow made a great play. The referee has to know don't blow the whistle unless he's out of bounds. But it was another shit day for the officials. And I mean, there's so many calls. The timeout where Chase gets a catch to the 6-yard line. That call was kind of iffy. The roughing the passer on Derek Carr on the last drive. And look, that gives them 15 more yards. I mean, so instead of being
and a first 11, down.
Right. Instead of being 11, they had the first down already. But still, being at the 11-yard line, they're at the 26 with 20-some seconds to go. Like, it changes the whole aspect of the game. And they had no timeouts either. So the officiating, again, terrible. And I just hope, guys, we don't see this trend continue and cost somebody a game in a later rounds, because we've seen it, man. You obviously remember the pass interference in the Saints-Rams game. They had the whole catch thing, if you guys remember, against the Packers.
Yeah.
I really hope we don't see that, because it's just, you never want to see a game with controversy. So I am kind of concerned about the officiating.
You know what I saw yesterday, and I didn't never notice this before, but did you see the refs on the sidelines, like alternate refs by the coach?
Yes.
Each coach?
Yeah.
Yep. To kind of explain the calls on the field. That way the refs on the field didn't have to, go all the way over to the coaches and explain to them. Is this something new? Is this something just started yesterday, or?
Yeah, I think they were trying to speed up the game a little bit. Instead of the official having to run over and explain it to both coaches, he could just radio to them and they can explain it.
But Coach Stizz, it's something they do in the playoffs. So because obviously you don't have 16 games, they bring other crews in to work too. And I think Coach is right. I think they're on the sidelines as like liaisons to the coach and to the, they can. Maybe the refs aren't getting screamed at maybe as much.
It's a good idea, but you saw how them interim refs were getting screamed out on the sidelines as well. So they were taking a beating.
Yeah,
and they were probably getting paid half the money.
Now, Billy, the one that gets me is you can't put your weight on a guy. Billy, if a guy like me or you is got our weight going, how are we holding up on our weight if we're going down, Billy? You know what I mean? Even a guy like Coach. If your momentum's going one way, how do you let up?
Right. You're right.
It's asinine and, something. Look, I get it for player safety, but it's something that I believe really needs to be looked at. And I talked about Raiders gaps too. Let me, not to pile on, but let me bring up a couple more too. The timeout with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go, to take you to one timeout because you can't get it to play off obviously they got to run out of the game clock.
Right.
Inexcusable. inexcusable. And then obviously, too, spiking it on 1st and goal when you had 31 seconds, inexcusable. I mean, you could have had another play. Like I said, 4th down, they had 17 seconds left. So right there, you basically had 13 or 14 seconds to get a play called and get it going. Or maybe you say in the huddle, look, guys, if we get down, this is the play. You know what I mean?
Clock management by the Raiders. It was all game. They had trouble getting the plays in.
Right. And you know it too, Coach. A lot of these guys, the Bradys of the world, those quarterbacks that are just situationally intelligent, they're going into the huddle and saying, all right, here's the play. If we get this, next play's this. So you get down there, boom, and you run another, you have it ready. Like, it was just a waste of a down. I mean, you had 31 seconds. Look, I get it if you're at 12 seconds and you're not going to be able to get 4 plays off anyway. You're at 31 seconds. With being at the 10-yard line, you can get 4 plays off.
I agree. I just felt like the Raiders' poor clock management and stupid false starts. Like, false starts, come on, man. I mean, I just felt like, the Raiders shot themselves in the foot. And I'll say this, and I don't know if we said it yesterday, but I don't think the Raiders were a playoff team with John Gruden.
I mean,
I don't think they were a 10-win team. Because I had the under for the Raiders, and it was, we talked about this. I didn't think they were that team, but Richie comes in and they kind of took that adversity and worked with it, man.
Surprised us.
Yeah, I think the playoff gods kind of, not the playoff gods, the football gods kind of, look down on. And look, sometimes too, you get a little lucky. Eagles, they had an easy stretch down the at the end of the season, so that was kind of the reason. And I thought, obviously, that Browns game where all the Browns were out, and then obviously playing the Broncos without Bridgewater.
Right.
I think they got 2 wins, and then look, credit to them. The Raiders said, "Hey, man, look where we're at. 2 wins, and we're in." And you know what? They balled out. I mean, they really did. When you needed to play good football, the Raiders did, and they beat 2. I know they're not in the playoffs, but the Chargers and the Colts are both good football teams. So, 2 big wins for the Raiders. Now the question is going to be, do you bring back Bisaccia? My point is, look, retain Bisaccia as special teams coach. Keep Bradley as defensive coordinator if you want, but go bring in a new head coach. And now you got all those minds together. Make Bisaccia assistant head coach. I know the players were calling for him, but to me, you got to look for the future. You go against Mahomes and Herbert, you want to make sure you got that head coaching position sealed up.
Absolutely. I agree. I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of keeping the interim guy on. So,
Right. Now, let's get into, obviously, we'll start with the first game today, Eagles versus Bucks. Brady trying to get some playoff revenge against the Eagles, obviously beating them in the Super Bowl. I guess it would be 5 years ago now. Was that 2017? Yeah. Or no, 4 years ago, excuse me. It was 2017 season. But yeah, so huge game, guys. Supposedly, possibly some weather in Tampa Bay. Some talk of torrential downpour. Some notes. Leonard Fournette is out. Ronald Jones is out. Levante David will play. But still, I think Fournette being out, Stizz, and Rojo is another big thing. They do get Giovanni Bernard, which will be good for, Brady loves throwing to his running backs. So I think that'll help, per se. But, Bernard's been out for a while. Yeah. So I think it's another thing. The Bucks are banged up. What I'm going to ask you guys, can the Eagles pull off the upset today? Coach, I'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely they can. This favors them big time, the rain, because they can run the football. And when they run it well, they can beat anybody. And I think with the holes in the in Tampa Bay, and their defense isn't playing as well. And Tom Brady doesn't have all his complement of weapons. I think it's primed for the Eagles today.
Yeah, Stizz.
Yeah, I mean, they got a shot because Tampa Bay's banged up, and it's hard to go against TB12. Hard to see, him losing wild card weekend. But I think Leonard Fournette is the big one. I mean,
Right.
you seen last year he was a playoff killer.
Yep.
And, not a big deal, but also the kid Cyril Grayson, who caught the winning touchdown in the Jets game a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
He's out as well. So now you're counting on the young bucks, Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, along with Mike Evans and
Right.
Gronk, of course, to get it done. So, I mean, you're undermanned. The Eagles caught them at a good time. If the Eagles win this game, hey, listen, a win's a win, but you catch Tampa Bay at the right point of time.
Right.
So,
And two, Stizz, when those injuries happened, Grayson had 2 80-yard games back to back. So he was starting to, get some – he made some big plays against the Jets especially. Yeah, he was starting to get it going. I think what you're going to see, too, is the Eagles put Slay on Evans and then maybe try to double Gronk. I mean, that's a possibility. The one thing Brady does is get the ball out of his hand real quick.
Yeah, he's quick,
He doesn't take dumb sacks. He gets the ball out of it quick. Sirianni, he's been inconsistent, but he's had some good games too. Let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, early on, I was ready to fire him. So
yeah, I got to agree, Jay. I mean, I said it before that. Sirianni, don't try to outsmart yourself. Don't try to be cute. Do what got you there. Run the ball. Take the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands. Don't force him to win the game for you. Do what's right. And keep that clock running.
Yeah.
We all know, Coach. You, in order to beat good players like Tom Brady, you got to keep them off the field.
Right.
You got to run that clock down.
Yeah, time of possession, and then not just that too. If you have that time of possession, you can wear that Bucs defense down in that fourth quarter too. And that's when you need to obviously, be moving the ball. Obviously, in the fourth quarter. The Bucs too. Everybody talks about that run defense, and look, it is a very, it's been a historically good run defense the last few years. And if you look at it at the end of the year, it's kind of deceiving though. It says they're third against the run. But the Bucs since week 9 or 10 have been giving up 4.8 or 4.9 yards a carry. So watch out for that. I mean, that's a look. They have that big boy Vita Vea in the middle, but still, that's the thing. What Stizz said, he's 100% right. Look, the Eagles, man. Look, they were 2-5. They end up 9-8. You're in the playoffs. Stick with what got you here.
Right.
Don't try to. I understand that the Bucs have been banged up in the secondary, but you need to run the football. It makes everything better. Run the ball. Don't go. Like I said, I'm going to go down with what got me here. You know what I mean? Right. Why change up now? Mm-hmm. So run the damn football. You get Sanders back today, which I think's a bump too. Yeah, I mean, run the ball. Go down on what got you here. And I do think as well the Eagles can pull it off today. I really do. A lot of people seem to be on the Bucs. I would not be stunned if the Eagles win it outright. I think it's very possible for them today. The only thing that concerns me is, let's be honest, you got Tom Brady versus Jalen Hurts late in the game, and look, nothing against Jalen Hurts, but you're talking about all-time great.
Yeah,
all-time. I mean, the guy, just, in the fourth quarter late. Right. It was just, I mean, he's the GOAT, man. He is. And it's just, Michael Buck stuff box trying to say that. I could see it, Mike. And, the Eagles still need to run against it, too. And look, eventually, if they're doing that, you're going to have to throw the ball. But to me, the Eagles, what's got them here is the run game. And they need to run the ball. You can't go try to, because that's not Hurts' game. Hurts' game is running the football, get it going, play action, get that RPO game going. That's the Eagles football. That's what's going to win. And Kevin, you're spot on. And linebackers, I'll give it credit. They've actually played better. Singleton's been better. TJ Edwards has been better. But yeah, stopping Gronk's going to be huge because you get Gronk going and you get Brady hitting him. it's going to be a long day for the Eagles. And that's one thing that kind of concerns me too. The Eagles are 0-6 against playoff teams this year. And if you go look, when they play good quarterbacks, they've struggled. But as Stizz alluded to, with the injuries with the Bucs, especially on the outside, with the weapons on the outside, I think that there's a door open for the Eagles to go down to Tampa and get a W today.
And I would even say a bolder prediction to Mike would be Quez Watkins catching that big, breaking that big touchdown today, because he's known for it.
Yeah,
he's known for having that big yardage play.
Yeah. Now, guys, on to what I think's the biggest game of the weekend, the best game of the weekend. Game I'm looking forward to. You got the Cowboys-Niners, and like I said, I think it's the best game of the weekend. Obviously, I believe it's the lowest line. Probably and look, when this one came out, I really liked one side. That's all I'll say. But one thing I need you look at, Niners are 7-2 down the stretch. One thing I think it's big too, Cowboys 6-0 against the NFC East, 6-5 against the rest of the NFL. So sometimes things can be deceiving. You say, oh well, the Cowboys had, I think they ended with 12 wins. Niners, I believe, had 10. But you know what? You got to look at it. Look at the difference in schedules. You know what I mean? The Niners had to play the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks twice. That's a big difference than the Giants, the Redskins, and the Eagles. It is.
Little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very, very tough schedule. And then, also they had to play the I think they played the AFC South. Yeah, so you had the Titans and the Colts too. So you got 8 tough games right there, and then we haven't brought up any other parts of their schedule. So, you talk about a tough schedule. I mean, I think Dallas has benefited from obviously being in the NFC East. And I mean, no offense, coach, but they basically had, because they got Washington late, and I think they had one against the Giants late. These were all easy W's. And If you look, the Raiders, the last few playoff teams they've played, they lost to. They lost to the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day, okay? They lost to the Cardinals a few weeks ago. So, we will we'll see what happens. But you guys know, Jay, come on, brother. You know who I'm rooting against. I hate the Cowboys.
Spoken from a true Eagles fan.
That's the truth. You know how it is, Stizz.
Mm-hmm.
And look, the Niners, I think they're playing really well on both sides. I mean, they were down 17-0 to the Rams last week. And they, and came back. And at one point in the third quarter, they ran the ball 9 straight times. Like, the Niners and Stizz, I think the Niners in the NFC posed the biggest threat to the Packers.
Scary.
I believe that. I think just because their style of play, they might not be the second best team in the NFC, but I'm talking about matchups. They're the team that scares me the most. And look, I know it's Jimmy G versus Rodgers, but let's not forget, in San Francisco, Jimmy G only had to throw the ball 8 times in the NFC Championship because they ran the ball all over the Packers, and that Packers run defense is one of their weaknesses. Guys, what are your thoughts on today's game? We'll start with you, Coach.
Yeah, I love the Niners today. Okay. I think that running game is going to slow down that defense of Dallas. They like to fly around and really get them in those passing situations. And I don't think Dallas's offense is able to be that quick start and get San Fran behind.
Right.
So they can play their defense. I don't think that's the case. I think the Niners run the football all over the place today, and it'll be one of those Jimmy G take the under on whatever throws it is. I don't know. I didn't look it up, but I think they're going to run the football a lot today and come out winning.
Yeah, Sammy, you're right. Kevin likes the Niners too. But, Sammy, you're right. They can't take the penalties, and the defense is going to have to come up big. There's no doubt about it. Stizz, and I think, too, the Cowboys need to run the ball. I mean, Dak throwing the ball 35, 40 times is not the formula to winning. It's, and Dak's, hasn't looked great lately. Stizz, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we all know that the forte of the 49ers is to run the ball, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to run it early. They're going to run it often. The prop and Deebo Samuel, man, what an absolute beast this year. I mean, not only in the passing game, I mean, the guy is a monster in the receiving game, but man, in the rushing game as well, it's unbelievable. I mean, these end arounds and all these trick plays that he's, being a part of is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if the running game isn't working quite the way they think it is, and you're putting the ball in Jimmy G's hands to beat Dallas, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yep.
I have to side with the Cowboys. I'm going on Dak versus Jimmy G in a close game. Yeah. And I got to go with Dak and them receivers and even that running game, Right. Sam Pollard back, Zeke, they were both banged up. They're not at 100%, unfortunately. If they were at 100% Pollard and Zeke, forget about it. This would be a blowout, in my opinion. Since they're not, it might be a little bit closer. But, yeah, I got to stick with the Cowboys and just –
And you're forgetting you have the Jameis Winston, the defensive backs in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys.
Good call. And you know what, Coach? The defense really, that's another good point because their defense this year, Dallas, listen, if it was last year, I would have been all over San Fran because their Dallas was their defense was terrible. They were giving out the most amount of points per game last year, I think, out of the whole league, or if not next to last. This year, a lot different, huh? A lot different this year.
Yeah, and Sammy, I think Quinn he might get a job this year with what he's done with that defense, because it's not like they got they went and got four people. Yes, Parsons is a huge, piece to add to your team, but still, that's one player, and their defense was historically bad last year.
Yeah.
Stizz, another thing I think is going to be big. Cowboys put pressure on the quarterback, and if the Niners don't have success running, and it becomes more on Jimmy G, and they're getting to him, Jimmy G will fumble the ball. Jimmy G will throw interceptions. So that's my biggest concern for the Niners today. I said it in the Super Bowl for the 1,000th time, but that was my thoughts against the Chiefs was if it came down to Jimmy G making a play, he wasn't going to be able to do it. And that's one thing that, concerns me, Stizz. You got Parsons and Lawrence and all these boys coming at you. If they put pressure on them, I agree with you. I think it could be a long day for the Niners.
And Trayvon Diggs taking chances always. So you get Jimmy G flustered and he's throwing the ball up for grabs. That might be a pick six the other way every day.
Well, and that's one thing you got to look at too. Diggs, yes, 11 interceptions. Which, come on, you're almost talking an interception a game. That's insane.
Crazy stuff.
But he also did allow the most yards for any quarterback, stat I heard from the man over there. Or that way. Wait, this way.
Yeah, there you go.
Coach brought that up. He did, and he was fifth with touchdowns against too. But still, 11 interceptions. That's come on, you're turning a possession over almost every game for your team. That's huge. Kevin, he's on the Niners. Dak will choke again. And, Sammy, come on. Turnovers are huge in playoff games. Just look at yesterday. The team with the more turnovers won both games yesterday. So, obviously Raiders had 2. Bengals didn't have any. And Patriots, I believe, had 2. I think there was 2 interceptions. So, obviously they're, look, everything gets magnified at this time. You know what I mean? Penalties are bigger. Turnovers are bigger. Everything's magnified in playoff time. So my pick I'll give when you get Nevada mixed picks at the end. I think by my talk, though, you can see where I'm leaning. Now, guys, Chiefs Steelers tonight. To recap the games, Juju Smith-Schuster. A surprise, activation, I believe it was on Friday. So you're going to get him back tonight. Look, obviously possibly Big Ben's final game. Nobody thinks the Steelers have a chance, including the Steelers. Big Ben, obviously, I think to kind of play into it and be sarcastic, said, nobody thinks we got a shot. We can just go play and have fun. But you know what? That's the mentality to take. We got nothing to lose. Just go play loose. And sometimes the most dangerous person is the one with nothing to lose because they're going to do wild shit, and you might see a lot of that today. Gimmick plays and just throwing the kitchen sink at them. I'm going to ask you guys. I'll start with you, Stizz.
Yes,
Can the Steelers keep it close, or are we looking at a blowout?
I don't think so. I mean, I've been saying since the beginning of the playoffs, before last week started and the matchups came out that this was – Kansas City was going to blow the doors off them. I just don't, even with Juju back, listen, man, Big Ben can't throw the ball downfield anymore, so I don't think that's going to really put too much into perspective tonight. I think Kansas City gets up early, gets up big, and I don't think they ever look back, unfortunately. And I think Big Ben he was ready for retirement the last game of the season. Not to say, you want to lose and not get in the playoffs, but I don't know. I just think he was in retirement mode a few games ago, and it's a shame. It really is a shame because he's a great quarterback. You called him top 5, I think, halfway through the season we were talking. And, I'd have to agree with you. It's a shame to lose, an icon in Big Ben, but the time's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Time's up.
No, he is top 5 of the last, I think we said the last 20 years or 25 years. Yep. No doubt about it. 2 Super Bowl wins, 3 Super Bowl appearances. And he kind of came right in and played too. I remember he started his career 7-0 as a starter. They go 15-1 in his first season. Obviously, I believe they lost. It might have been in the AFC. Yes, they lost the AFC Championship to the Patriots. Both were 15-1. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Patriots. That was the year the Eagles made it. They follow that up with that 10-6 year, and they were the wild card, and they make the run. And they, obviously win the Super Bowl against the Seahawks in Bettis' final game. So, just a great game. I actually think everybody's doubting the Steelers. Nobody thinks that the Steelers can hang in this game. I think they can. I really do. I do understand where Stizz is coming from. The Steelers' offense has been just putrid, but I think you're going to see a different effort out of that defense. Tomlin and the Steelers are great as underdogs. And look, we've seen it plenty of times where in the regular season the team gets smoked, and then the playoffs keep it close. I think the Chiefs can keep it close to that. I really do. And look, it might end up being where you're down 13 late and or 14 late, and they grab a touchdown to make it a 1-score game. Mm-hmm. But I think in the fourth quarter, at some point, it'll be a 1-score game for the Steelers. Coach, do you think the Steelers can keep it close?
Yeah, I do. I think they're going to lean on Najee Harris today. I think he's going to have a big game. I think they're going to run the football and keep Mahomes off the field and keep the game close. I do. I like the Steelers to keep it close today.
And Najee Harris has been playing well lately, Coach. They've been starting to give him the ball, and he's really starting to hit his stride a little bit. And that's the other thing, too. That Chiefs defense that everybody was in love with has started to leak oil a little bit. So that's another reason I kind of think the Steelers may keep it close. So we'll see tonight. It will be interesting. Now we're gonna get into my picks, and then we'll do Stizz's prop bet and the locks of the week. My picks for today. I'm gonna start off Eagles plus 7.5. I bet it early in the week. I actually got lucky. I got it at 9. It opened up at 9, so I got the Eagles plus 9. But obviously the line's 7 and a hook. Love it. I think it's too many points right now. I see a close game. I think the Eagles, have a shot to upset them. I'm not going to call an upset. I think Brady just somehow finds a way to win the game by a field goal. I see a close game, but I see Brady kind of winning it late. That's the game I'm saying. So I'm going to go with the Eagles plus 7.5. As I stated obviously earlier, I like the Steelers with the points. Everybody's on the Chiefs. Look, Big Ben's last game, possibly. I think the Steelers, that's a prideful team. I think T.J. Watt has a big game. And I think, like Coach said, I think Najee Harris runs the football. Because that's one thing Pittsburgh's done. They've been putting too much on Ben. Ben needs to throw the ball 25 times today. No more. Plenty. Let Najee Harris run it 25, 30 times. Have Ben throw it 25 times. If Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball 40 or 50 times, I think it goes Stizz's route, and you see a blowout.
Because they're playing from behind. Because they're playing from way behind. That's
right.
Right.
And I just think that's not your formula for winning. They're going to need a balanced attack today with running the ball and throwing the ball if they want to stay in this game. But I'm going to go with Steelers plus 12.5. A part of me wants to call outright, but I don't, because that would be just shock the world. But I'm going to go. I think the Chiefs, obviously win the game, but I'm going to take the Steelers plus 12.5. And then I also have, I'm going with the Niners plus 3. I saw this. This is the game I like the most when the lines come out. I loved it. A lot of people seem to like the Niners, which concerns me. But you know what? For this game, I obviously like going against the public, but I'm going to go off what my eyes tell me. And my eyes tell me the Niners are playing really good at football right now, up front on offensive line and defensive line. That Rams game last week they won was without Trent Williams. He's back this week. I'm just going with the eye test. 7-2, last 9. Stizz mentioned Deebo Samuel and how good he's been playing. And honestly, since they moved him to that running back position in some situations has been, I think, one of the things that's helped spark that offense and get them going. He's lethal as a running back and as a receiver. He's just an ultimate weapon right now, playing really good. I'm going to go Niners plus 3. I think the Niners win the game outright. Now, Stizz, let's get to your prop bet.
So, prop bet this week, I'm going with over 9.5 first quarter total points in the KC Pittsburgh game tonight. Right. I think they start off quick. It's going to be a little bit sloppy weather, I think, in Kansas City as well. I know I've seen a little bit of snow. We'll see how the field looks. But I think they get off to a hot start. You could see Kansas City scoring a touchdown right away. Hopefully Pittsburgh sneaks a field goal in, gets that over 9.5. But, yeah, that's what I'm going. Over 9.5 first quarter total points.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Need a touchdown and a field goal. And Stizz, right now, too, so 2 games down, me and Stizz were looking at a prop. It was team with the lowest points was over 7.5. So as long as all teams scored 8 points this weekend, it was over. Man, 2 games down, Stizz. And yeah, I think, we'll see. Did you bet that, Stizz, or no?
No, I did not. The juice went up a little bit to minus 115 from even money. And then the line went up from 7.5 to 9.5. So, everybody was betting that over. Still seems easy. It's hard. It's hard for a team not to score, at least 8 to 10 points.
Right.
Although the Patriots.
What's that?
You saw that with the Patriots last night. It was such a blowout late. Yeah. You know what I mean? They kind of.
I was just going to say that.
Okay.
They put the field goal up before halftime, and you say to yourself, all right, all he needs is a touchdown now to go over. They got it. They got 2 more touchdowns, but yeah, it is hard. But listen, man, you never know. There could be shutout. There could be a shutout. It could be a team only scoring maybe 3 points or so. Who knows?
Honestly, Sammy, I do hate the Cowboys. I loathed and I despise them. But no, I honestly think, I like the Niners today. It's not. Look, the Cowboys hating the Cowboys doesn't hurt, but I really do think it's going to be the Niners today. Just my opinion. Let's get into our locks now. I'll give mine. There you go, Sammy. It's for you. Niners plus 3 is my lock of the week. Yeah, it's my strongest play on the board. I really like the Niners today. Stizz, your lock of the week.
Listen, I hate to be against my two fellow Goombas over here, but and I'm hoping by promoting this lock of the week of the Cowboys -3, maybe Sammy hooks me up with nice little bucket of chicken, you know what I mean? On the cuff. You know what I mean?
Man.
So, I'm kind of like a double-edged sword here. I'm
taking the Nick's chicken, man. That ain't right.
Yeah. I might get the last bucket, too. I might go in early and get the last bucket from Sam. Sam, don't worry about it. I'm rooting for your boys today, so make sure you hook Stizz up,
Sam, you need to DM me so I can come by and get some of this chicken they keep talking about, man. Let me know.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. Self-anointed America's team bullshit with the
damn Cowboys. I agree with you, Mike. I know.
Yeah. Coach, your lock of the week.
My lock, I'm going with the Eagles, man.
Oh, you're going with the Eagles. Okay.
Oh, you because you got mad at me. I like the Niners. You told me to change it. So
you're gonna fuck the Eagles up. I can't win with you, man. You can go with the Eagles. All right, Eagles. We was talking Niners. All right.
Yes, but I originally had the Niners. You said you fucked me up, so I changed.
I didn't want to take the
with
Eagles either, because then the Eagles are gonna get fucked.
I did.
Oh, man.
Take the fucking Chiefs or something. I don't know.
Thanks. Plenty of chicken. Thank you, Sammy. I'll be up there. Next time I get up that way, coming by for an 8-piece, man.
Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh, and Coach Will too. That cheap bastard.
Damn right.
Probably drive up today now.
Damn right. Damn right. Damn right, man.
All right,
all right, everyone. Listen.
Excited. And hey, another day tomorrow too.
That's right. Another game tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow night. Thank you, everyone. Make sure you share it with your friends. Like the page. Ring the bell if you're on YouTube there, Mike, so you can subscribe, tell your friends. We really appreciate everyone. Enjoy some football today. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have fun. Be safe. Peace out.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Yeah.
Good coach with the peace out.
That's right.
All right, hit end, Coach. Can I do that?